evening, folks, and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. Winter may have well and truly hit Melbourne, but I tell you what, the action here tonight on Dinamo-TV is really going to hot up. That's for sure. My name's toensure. I'm your host for tonight, and boy, I say it every week, but tonight we've got an absolute fantastic jam-packed episode of Dinamo-TV, the official podcast of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club. Absolute pleasure to be here with you. As I said, it's already up to episode 22 of this season, the inaugural season of Dinamo-TV. So we've had some fantastic guests, and tonight we've got some really rippers. It's more a case of quality, not quantity tonight. We've got two guests tonight. The first guest is going to be ANTE DIDULICA, who's well known around the club. He's the father of former Dinamo Junior, and his son is currently at Western United, ANTE DIDULICA, who just this week was named in the Australian National Under-17, the Joeys squad. And Ante will be talking to us about how the move from Geelong up to Melbourne and to Dinamo was a pivotal moment in young Anthony's career, and how his career is just seeming to take off and off. And he'll also be talking about a lot of the sacrifices he and his wife, Anna, who is a member of the Dinamo committee, have had to really endure to ensure their son got to where he has got to today. So it's a fantastic story, an inspirational story for other parents as well, and indeed for all young footballers at Dinamo. We'll also be speaking with the senior men's team captain, Michael GRGIC, a little bit later on. He'll be joining us straight off the training tracks. And he'll be talking to us about, well, what a busy last couple of days has been for the senior men's team. Last night's Australia Cup exit, gallant at the hands of the table toppers at the moment, South Melbourne. We'll look at some of the highlights. We'll also talk about the Croatian derby last week against the Melbourneites. Michael scored from the penalty spot. And it all comes down to the big game this Saturday, the Battle of the Cellar Dwellers in NPL Victoria, but it's a must-win game, a true six-pointer, whereby we need to defeat Moreland City. We'll hear all about that a bit later on. Plus, we'll also announce the senior men's and the senior women's Player of the Week award winners. There's a lot to get through in the news desk, so we're not going to rest. We're going to get straight into the news desk. But before we do that, as you can see, I am wearing one of these fantastic Gorspich Bears 20th anniversary tops. Gosh, aren't they good? I'll tell you what, very comfortable, very snug and great fitting. And a big thank you to Ivica Petrolic from the Gorspich Bears, who's provided this. So if you'd like one of these type of tops, there's beanies, there's jackets as well. Do support our member club, part of the Dinamo football group. And you can contact the Gorspich Bears via their Facebook page, or give Ivica a ring if you do know Ivica personally. As I said, we're going to take a very short break. When we do return, it is time for the news desk, and then after that, it's going to be our first guest for tonight. Don't go away, folks. It is Dinamo-TV.
The ANTE Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. ANTE partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, ANTE now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The ANTE Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Okay, time for the news desk now. Well, we'll start with last Sunday's big Croatian derby there at the Churchill Reserve. Attracted a big crowd. It was a huge day with football action from the morning on the surrounding pitches. And indeed, straight after the main game, there was also the Gorspic Bears were in action, as was the last man standing draw in the club rooms. So a lot happened, but let's see what happened on field. Let's recall what happened on the field. Your commentators, Lockie Flanagan and Mark Ivkovic.
Either of them, because there's no love lost between these two clubs, I'll tell you that much. And I know for a fact that St Albans will always pencil in every season that these two games as must-wins, because the bragging rights are massive for them, and no better way for them to get off the bottom of the table than a win this afternoon.
And they will certainly be, as you said, Mark, fancying their chances today, as it is the home side in the blue who get us underway. Led into the path of an attacking teammate, but nothing doing just yet for Dinamo. That's a better pass, though, into space by Carter Ramsey. And released on the left-hand side, Jacob Sovereign. Back to Joseph Cholina. And Summerskill tries his luck from a long way out. He is a good player at physical defence-first counter-attacking brand of football. And there were, patches not bad at doing that. But you are asking players to relearn something that is not necessarily natural to some of them.
Yeah, and look, it takes a specific type of player to play that brand of football that Cam wants to play, and he had that in City where he was, a high-level calibre of players, and you can see, he's left and David Chick's taken over, and it's, business as usual because they're high-quality players, but,
Oh, great ball from Albano. Bramwell, surely! There it is for Kieran Bramwell. There it is for Melbourne Knights. The deadlock finally breaks, and it's the man who's been doing the business for them.
And struggled really in his time at the Knights, and then went back to WA and won the Player of the Season the year that he went back.
Morton, a good touch. Hoare, surely, yes, there it is. 2-0 Melbourne Knights. They get the goal that they've needed in this second half. The breathing space arrives, and it arrives through the endeavour of Jack Morton to keep the ball alive at the touchline, and an unerring finish from Mitch Hoare. 2 minutes materialises in the form of a spot kick. Alan Jerez could potentially have had the chance to tuck it away, but it doesn't matter. A handball spotted in the preceding cross, and captain Michael Gergic is going to set up for a massive, massive moment in this game. A true captain's goal this one could be. Do you have an angle on the handball call, Mark?
Not really. It looked like he came off his thigh, but it must have bounced onto his hand. And the Heartbreak Kid was pretty determined in his decision there.
There was not much in the way of the hesitation, and so it rests in the shoulders of Michael Gergic. The game is back on at Churchill Reserve, and the captain is the man who stands and delivers from the penalty spot. Felipe Sanchez took it into the corner and couldn't do enough to prevent a goal kick. So again, speed, efficiency, the order of the day here for St Albans. That was no good. A check of the watch from the referee. How many more chances will St Albans get? No more. That's it. They fought hard, but Melbourne Knights hang on to take all 3 points in a Croatian derby that held its drama right down.
And that was all the action from last Sunday's Croatian derby. So if we have a look now at the ladder and also this week's fixture, a very important game, as we said. When they say it's a 6-pointer, they really mean a 6-pointer in this particular game. Moreland City hosting St Albans Dinamo in round 18 of the NPL this Saturday, 3:30 p.m. at CB Smith Reserve. Both teams at the moment on 7 points. Manningham United on 10 in third last position. This is one of those games you just, a draw will not suffice. Certainly a loss won't either. And it is just a win at all costs sort of a game. That's absolutely important. That is crucial. Now, prior to last Sunday's main game, we had the under-23s. And the under-23s delivered coach Adam Tenanini a great birthday present, the best possible birthday present, with a 3-1 win over sister club, the Melbourne Knights. Arben Gege scored 2 goals. Jesse Chop scored 1. That means the Dinamo now jumps up to 10th spot in the under-23s division. This week they come up against Moreland City, who are in 6th position. They're 4 points clear of Dinamo. A win against the Moreland City side will see Dinamo to within 1 point of Moreland City. That would be fantastic. Ian Burke, the assistant coach of the under-23s, and also DinamoTV's roving reporter on game day. Well, he caught up with the birthday boy straight after the game, and this is what Adam Tenanini had to say.
Here we are with 23's head coach Adam Tenanini. Tuna, a very happy birthday present for you with a 3-1 victory over the Knights.
It was, Berkey. It was a very good victory today. The boys have probably played the best they have this season in terms of performance, and obviously off the back of that came the result. So very happy with the result, but more pleasing was just the way the boys played. It was a big game for us, being the local derby. And it's got someone behind us. Hey mate, yeah, thanks mate. Being the local derby, and the boys are really up for it, and it showed on the park. So really, really pleasing. And the cherry on top, if you want to call it that, was it's my birthday today. So the boys gave me a nice birthday present.
So good adaptability shown by the group as well, with the late change of the pitch due to the weather conditions.
Yeah, so I looked to preserve pitch 1 here at Dinamo. We came requested that we move, which was fine, and we ended up on pitch 2. Probably worked in our favour, to be honest. Our, short, sharp passing on that smaller pitch worked the treat. And yeah, look, I thought that we were the better side throughout the whole contest, to be honest. And I haven't said that a lot so far this season, because there have been a lot of games where we just haven't been able to put together the full 90 minutes. But I think you'll agree that today was, although the game got away from both teams a little bit in that second half, where it got a little bit stretched, I think we were definitely the better team over 90 minutes. So that was the most pleasing, that we just put a big block of good play together.
And so on to next week away at Moreland City, with a bit of revenge in mind, given that we probably produced our worst performance earlier in the season against them. Yeah,
one of so far. We were terrible that day in that 38, 39 degree heat, whatever it was that day. We're looking to bounce back from what was a disappointing performance last time. A bit of a different team that we'll put out compared to what we had last time as well. And a few boys knocking on the door as well that have, coming off the bench or coming back from injury, that are looking for a look in. So it will make training this week more competitive as well. So that will be great. And we go to travel to Duke's Road next week, one of the traditional homes of Victorian football, and try and get a result.
Well, good luck for next week, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
And we share the happy birthday wishes to Tuna. Well done. Let's hope the boys can make it another win this weekend against Moreland City. Last night was the Australia Cup round 7 of the Victorian phase, and Dinamo came up against the might of South Melbourne at Lakeside Stadium on a very, very cold midweek Melbourne evening. And let's catch up with all the highlights from last night's game.
The evening to come and watch the game, and slowly building up in a very important clash for both sides. And as you said, if they get past this stage, they'll be going to the final 16 draw for the Australian Cup, and the semi-finals for the Doherty Cup
as well. Yeah, that's right. So that final 32, that draw will be on this time next week, Arthur, on 10 play. Looking forward to. It's always a highlight seeing who the different clubs from around Australia match up against from.
You're riding their luck. You just sense that if they don't deal with the next one, the next one I think might be in the back of the net.
That's right. Well, we'll just take a moment to go around the grounds tonight. We'll make sure we get all of our football family to turn up and enjoy that one, as St Albans are trying to get themselves the right backing track to an opening goal here, as Alan Jerez combining with Bakor. Still he goes into the box. Good challenge by Mario Barcia, and he copped one for his troubles as well. And will we see the first card of the evening here? Or will it just be a free kick going the way of South Melbourne? It is the first card coming out, shown by referee.
Again, and a header. And again, I'm just chance again. The shot way over the bar.
Well, we've seen some pretty ordinary attempts on goal tonight from distance, Arthur, and that one from Mario Barcia. Again, not in their NPL Victoria fixture on the weekend, as Mikola sends in the big rainmaker into the box. It's away by Chris Dibb, well defended by St Albans. Flicked on by... It was eventually going through to Sawyer, and his shot was on target, but it was easily fielded by Marco Bullic. He didn't have the power that Sawyer might have been hoping for, or the placement, but the flick on by Yankovic was what did the damage and played it through to Sawyer and gave him the chance, which he was unable to snatch in the opening minute of the first, the first minute of the second 45.
Yeah, chance... really, a bit more power in that shot. Might have been a bit of trouble there for Bulik. And now St Albans trying to make an opening here. There's a free man outside the box. A shot. Great save there by Lopez.
Oh.
And in the end, very lucky to get away with that one.
Well, that was the best chance of the game, Arthur. Really good work by Josh Diven down the right. Diven won the ball, got around Marshall, and really good timing of the run by Scott Bakor, and the shot from Bakor was on target and saved by the feet of Harvey Lopez. He's got so many of those tentacles working, the arms and the legs, and a good bit of goalkeeping, but maybe Bakor would be ruining the fact that he couldn't put that a little bit closer to the corner and take it out of the equation of Harvey Lopez being able to save. But certainly, that's the best look at goal we've seen. But here's Bernardo over the top. It's Noel Bernardo in the Argentine. What a fine finish. Noel Bernardo, and South Melbourne find themselves straight after the chance for St Albans. Punish them mercilessly. And South Melbourne have got 1 foot in the national round of 32, Arthur.
In the end, couldn't get the ball to him. Sawyer looks a bit tired at the moment in my eyes too.
Well, this is last roll of the dice here, but it's South Melbourne making the clearance, and that might be the full-time whistle for Puigdemont. And South Melbourne are back in the national stage of the Australia Cup for the first time since 2021. They'll be in the hat next week. St Albans, that chance to go back down the historical front of 10 years ago, 2014, the first ever FFA Cup as it was then, when they made it to the round of 16 and hosted Perth Glory at Knight Stadium after beating Parramatta up at Melita Stadium. Well, we'll have to wait longer for repeats of those heroics, but they've put in a good showing of themselves tonight, Arthur, St Albans. But to the victors go the spoils.
Well, we may have exited this year's Australia Cup, but we certainly did it with our heads held high. Fantastic performance by the boys last night. Just wasn't enough to get us over the line, but prior to that goal, that only goal of the game, we had a very, very good chance, and it could have gone either way if that had have gone in. Now, if the men aren't doing too well as far as getting points and results on the field, our senior women's team is doing the complete opposite. They are doing exceptionally well at the moment. And last Friday night, they came up against Westgate, the undefeated table toppers, and we remained undefeated after that game. Here's all the action from that game last Friday night. Another big night for the club. And immediately after that, John Bielosh, our roving reporter, caught up with Tom Pondelak, the senior women's team head coach. Here's the action, first of all, from Churchill Reserve.
Tommy, 1-1. How do you think you went?
Yeah, look, it was a really tough game tonight. We knew it was going to be really tough. Westgate, obviously, they're on top of the ladder for a reason, yes. So, look, the girls were probably a little bit nervy at the beginning, but that all sort of disappeared. And once they got themselves into the game, I thought we actually outplayed them, especially in that first half. But yeah, disappointed for the girls. Yeah, we didn't get the 3 points, but they fought really hard tonight. They played their hearts out, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask from them. So, excellent job. We still maintain the pressure on them. We're only 2 points behind, and we just keep going week to week.
Well done, mate. Good luck for the season.
Thank you.
Cheers, bud.
And that was Tommy Pondeljak speaking after the game. If we have a look at the ladder of the senior women's competition, which is the state league. That's the wrong one. Moving along to, that's not the one. Looks like our ladders, our graphics are not working today. The women remain in second position on the competition standings with 17 points, just 2 points behind Westgate, who are on 19 points after 8 rounds. And this weekend, Spring Hills hosts our St. Albans women on Friday night. That game kicks off at 8 p.m. at Springside Recreational Reserve. And Spring Hills are currently in second last position. They are yet to record a win, 1 draw and 6 losses from their 7 games. So on paper, it seems like it's a pretty easy result. Well, it might not be the case, that's for sure, on the field. So we certainly have to approach this game with caution, that's for sure. Okay, let's turn our attention now to the junior boys. And first of all, we'll go to the under-14s and the under-15s. And last week, it was a busy time for the for all of the boys, because they had to play on Saturday, but they also had to play then on the Sunday. So lots happening, that was for sure. Now, if we have a look at the results very, very quickly, and I'm just scrolling now looking for my results, and here we go. So last Saturday, the under-14s defeated Altona Magic 4-2 at home. Xavier Boulos, Duvon Tadic, and Harvey Turk scoring the goals, plus an own goal for the 14s. The under-15s, they defeated Hume City 4-3. Maxim Mikulic scored a hat-trick. Marko Mioc scored 1, and Dania Brkljacic scored 1. Then on to Sunday, Bendigo City was the venue for the under-14s, an away game, and Dinamo under-14s came away with a 1-1 draw. Christian Pete scoring for Dinamo. The under-15s, they beat Geelong Soccer Club 4-1. Reece Bazanko getting a hat-trick, and Maxim Mikulic scoring 1 goal. So well done to the 14s and the 15s. They both occupied third position on the competition standings after round 7. Okay, over the page now to the under 16s and the under 18s. Firstly, on Saturday, the under 16s, they defeated Werribee City 4-1. Lucas Hanania scoring 2, Dino Krmek 1, and Will O'Connor. The under 18s, they took on Geelong Soccer Club, and they ended up winning 5-0. Nicholas Masiti, Joshua Angelis, Max Krainer, and Aaron Imeri scoring for the under 18s. Then it was on to Sunday's games, where the under 16s, they travelled to Bendigo City, where they defeated Bendigo City 2-1. Dino Krmek and Elijah Camilleri scoring for Dinamo. And the under 18s, they hosted Brunswick City at home at Churchill Reserve and came away with a 2-2 draw. Jonathan Galvin scoring after just 3 minutes, and then Nicholas Masiti in the 53rd minute. So as we can see, doing well, both the under 16s and the under 18s currently occupying top spot. Well done to the under 16s and the under 18s, and I'm sure the under 14s and the under 15s will also be looking to jump up a few more spots and approach that top spot on the competition standings. Let's have a look at the fixtures for this week. Werribee City hosts Dinamo at Galvin Park Reserve. Kick off at 11 o'clock in the under 14s. the under-15s. Brunswick City hosting Dinamo at Dunstan Reserve. That game kicks off at 11:30. Of course, all these games on the Sunday. In the under-16s, at Churchill Reserve with a 1:15 kickoff. Dinamo hosting Whittlesea Rangers in the under-16s. And last but certainly not least, in the under-18s, St Albans hosting Ballarat City. That game kicking off at 3:15 p.m. Rightio, moving along now to the social news. What is happening social-wise? Well, as we mentioned last week, the scoreboard Zabava, that's fast approaching. Make sure to get your tickets for this one. It's on Saturday, 29th of June from 6:30 p.m. onwards. It's $100 a ticket, but it does include 3-course meal, and the entertainment will be provided by Major Minor. Now, if any of you were recently, I think at the Mladi Hrvati Zabava, a Major Minor released their cover version of Baby Lasagna's Eurovision song. I'm sure that is going to be a hit on this at the scoreboard Zabava. There we go. For bookings, text Anna on 0401 505 100. That's 0401 505 100. Lots, no doubt, happening at Dinamo over the coming weeks. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we do return, we're going to have a look at that volunteer video that was prepared by Lucy Hrbolic last week, that aired on last week's show. We'll watch that again, and then we'll also announce who to this week's or last week's senior men's and senior women's players of the week were. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up on the other side of the break.
G'day here, Danny Yufusha here. Been part of the club forever and a day, volunteering for over the last decade and a half, which has been fantastic. Been part of the committee at the moment with the tournament, and we're looking forward to a great one. But to help facilitate that, we will need a lot more volunteers like yourself. So hopefully you guys can get behind us and help us out to make this tournament a successful one for our whole community.
Hi, I'm Steve. I've been here since I was 12 years old at the club. I love supporting the club, I love helping out, volunteering, and yeah.
How you going? Rob Mickledge here. I'd love to see a lot more people volunteer their time if they can to help out the kids with just helping out with Dinamo at the club, and hoping to get more people to help us out with the tourney coming up shortly.
Volunteering for the club is fantastic for the children, and our community all stays together, and we all do our part to keep it all together.
Christian Dulwich here for the big 2024 Dinamo tournament, hosted here anywhere else but we're in St Albans. We need volunteers like you, like myself, like Milch, and a whole bunch of others. Join now and welcome to the crew.
Volunteering is lots of fun. It makes you feel as if you're a part of a community, and bringing your friends along makes it one to remember.
Yeah, so come sign up and be a part of such a great weekend.
Why do I like volunteering my time at Dinamo? Because it gives back to our community. It's for our kids.
And yeah, it's improvement around the place, and hopefully everyone gets to see it at the Crow tournament on Grand Final weekend this year.
G'day guys, Darren Cordial here. Volunteering is a big part of our club. We've got the Croatian tournament coming up soon and we'd love to see you as a volunteer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie Matrevsky.
Hi, I'm Anna Miach.
And I'm Lucy Havolik, and we are your volunteers.
We'd love for you to come and sign up
For this year's soccer tournament.
proudly hosted by Dinamo Soccer Club. So sign up and come and join the Blue Crew.
There you go. Make sure to jump on board and become a volunteer at Dinamo, whether it's now during the season or whether it's post-season when it's the big Australian-Croatian soccer tournament. It's going to be a massive year, a huge year. And one thing that really differentiates clubs like our club from a lot of other clubs is that community spirit, that community feel, and the fact that we get, so many people involved. And as the club is so huge and has so many facets to it, it certainly needs a lot of volunteers. Big thank you to Lucy Hudabolic for preparing that little video there. Very, very much appreciated. Now, before we get to our first guest, we do have to announce who our winner of the Senior Men's NPL Player of the Week award winner is. And for the third time this year, congratulations goes to Joseph Cholina. Joseph's absolutely in fine form at the moment, and that was against the Melbourneites. He put in an absolute sterling performance. And it's also time now to announce the winner of the Senior Women's Player of the Week award winner. And the initials are very similar to the Senior Men's, and it runs in the family. And I think this must be a first anywhere in the world, for that matter, that the Senior Men's and the Senior Women's Players of the Week are siblings. Big congratulations to Jana Cholina as well. Fantastic winning the award. Once again, I think this is multiple award winner. I think she's won it now twice, maybe 3 times. So she put in a fantastic performance, led from the front against Westgate last Friday night. So congratulations to both the JCs or the JChs. The Cholina family must be really, really producing the quality players there. Big shout out to Rob and Jenny for doing such a great job with their kids. And a big shout out to all the Dinamo parents who are doing such a great job with their kids, which brings us to our very, very next guest. Speaking of parents who are doing very, very well with their kids, supporting their kids and getting to the highest level and achieving their full potential, it's an absolute pleasure now to welcome to the Dinamo-TV a good friend of mine, ANTE DIDULICA. ANTE, good evening, and how are you?
Good evening, Touch. How you going? Very good, thank you.
Very good, mate. Absolute pleasure to have you on Dinamo-TV for the first time this year. But, mate, on behalf of everyone at Dinamo, huge congratulations to you and your lovely wife, Anna, and especially to your son, Anthony, for being selected in the Australian National Under-17 Joey's team.
Yeah, we're extremely excited. So thank you very much. And it's been an exciting sort of couple of weeks now.
Yeah, tell us how was the news broken to you? How did you find out about it? Where were you guys, and how did Anthony find out? And how was he? How did he feel when he found out?
It's funny because I just dropped him off at his exam on Monday last week, and I was tempted to actually drive back to pick him up out of school out of his exam to actually tell him, but I had to wait for the 2 hours when he sort of finished his exam, and then I sort of got the email and then sort of let him read it, and he was just ecstatic. So he quickly jumped out of the car, and I was like, "Where's he gone?" You know, and all of a sudden he's gone to obviously tell his best mate Ragga that he's made. So it's quite funny. So he told Rails Max, so he wanted to let him know, especially that he got the call up. So it was quite funny actually.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And where to now? So what's the next step? Are they going to go into camp, or are they going to when is that happening?
Yeah, so he leaves Melbourne's flight 7 o'clock to Sydney on Saturday morning, with all the Vic boys, and then they meet all up in Sydney, and then they've got a flight to Indonesia for a training camp. in Jakarta for the first week, and then the tournament starts the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Now, apart from the fact that he's an ex-Dinamo junior as well, you guys as a family are very, very heavily involved. And just tell us a little bit, for those that aren't in the know, what your involvement with the club is, and try and keep it to about 5 minutes, because we've still got the captain, Michael Didovich, to come on.
Yeah, look, we got warmly, invitation to come up to Dinamo. I don't know, it's probably sitting on there 5 odd years or something like that.
Yep.
And we just sort of took it with bells on them. Honestly, this club has been nothing short of amazing. Accepted us within the community. Anna's now still on the board at Dinamo. So it just shows the involvement that we have in and around here. I'm actually at Dinamo HQ this evening. Because obviously the girls are here training and whatnot. So we just spend a lot of time here, and it's really, like I said, it's really family orientated club, and I must say that it's just been nothing short of amazing.
And don't forget your daughter, Maya. She's also
she's also played.
How good are they doing? They're doing really well, and what a thrilling game that was last Friday against Westgate, the old rivals.
It was an awesome game to watch. I say actually, I must congratulate Tommy, because he's done an amazing job with the girls. Their football and their type of football is nothing short of amazing. And obviously, you've known me for a long time. I've coached from juniors to seniors, and I honestly say that it's just a pleasure to watch.
Yeah. Now, I've known you for many, many years, and I've spoken to you many times as a reporter, and you a coach. You've coached at senior level, you've coached at the junior level. When your kids are playing, whether it's your daughter or your son, do you get involved from the sidelines, or do you try and hold yourself and suppress yourself? And why do you do that? What's the reasoning behind it?
You know what? I stay out of it now. They're old enough now to know what they need to be doing when they cross that white line. In actual fact, we talk about Anthony. Just the other day, I sort of said, "Oh, you need to look at." He goes, "Tut." He goes, "I've got this." And that, right? So I'm really well and truly just a father, which is something that I haven't. Not that I haven't done it, but I've always been in the coaching sector.
Yeah.
So I've either coached or seniors, or I've coached juniors, or I've coached Anthony's team. So now I'm really actually just enjoying coming to Dinamo, having a couple of beers, and then watching, whether it's the seniors, the juniors. I just come to games just because I enjoy it.
Now, like I said, you have coached, but you've also coached your kids. You obviously coach your son, particularly in the formative years. And look, what would you recommend to other parents who are coaching their kids, other dads that are coaching their kids, or some of the boys, some of the girls that are starting to go down that elite pathway? What's your words of advice with regards to that? Because it's really hard, isn't it? Putting on a dad's hat and then a coach's hat, and knowing when to take one and when to take off, and even the drives home, analysing the games. When do you sort of back off, and when do you sort of really push them and encourage them?
Yeah, look, like me, and I've always stated that it's about getting touches on the ball. You never, ever, ever stop him from getting the ball. Like Anthony especially used to wake up with the ball in his feet. He used to go to bed with the ball in his feet. Mm-hmm. So he had that ball at his feet all the time. And, the funny thing was I never really had to put any pressure on him. He just knew that it's just something that he always had in him. Mm-hmm. So I think it's vitally important that every kid always at training get as many touches as you possibly can, and that's what I did through the junior ranks. Treated everybody equally, but I've always said to them, just make sure you just try and get as many touches with the ball as what you can as a coach, and then you just let that nurture into what it can be, if that makes sense. Because like I said, it's one of those areas that you don't want to push them because they'll get sick of you pushing them, but at the same time you want to make sure that they're aware that if you want to make a living out of this, it's about hours. That's what it's about, making sure that you have enough touches. A perfect quote from that I've heard and that I'm really fond of is the Phil Foden. He had a size 1 ball and he would juggle, put it onto a wall, then continue to juggle again. And you've got to make sure that the ball is your best friend, and that's the reality, I think.
Yeah. It's funny, it's interesting. Today I was actually reading a really, really good interview with Slaven Bilic, the former Croatian coach, and he was the Croatian under-21 coach when Modric first came along. And I'll read this part where he said, we could see straight away how focused Modric was, how determined to become a player. He had quality, of course, but we saw something special in him, character-wise. How much... like a player can have natural ability, they can have commitment, but how much of that X factor or how much of that extra something else do they have to have? And what was it with Anthony that really made him different from a lot of the other players coming up through the ranks?
Yes. So we took him early to an academy, Albans Academy. I think it was Football Technique Australia or whichever, FTA anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There was another kid there, which I reckon was maybe 2 or 3 years older than Anthony. And this kid could juggle. The ball wouldn't touch the floor. And I'd just watch Anthony and he'd observe it. And then he'd go home and he'd start practicing the juggling technique. Then next week, he'd sort of tell this kid, I did as well, X amount, and he just, determination, I think a lot of it comes from the want inside of him personally.
Yeah.
But you could just see that every time he come back, he'd increase the amount of touches or the increase the amount of juggles. So it was just quietly amazing to watch.
Yeah, so it's that perseverance, that commitment, but it was just that something that little bit extra there. And do you have to be like, in a way, we always hear it. Some of these greatest players were really obsessive, and you said Anthony sort of slept with the ball and this and that. As parents, you and Anna, were there times when you kind of like, mate, just stop it. Just come to the dinner table or switch off the TV, or whatever the case may be. Just be yourself. Or is it you can see something's there and you just want to encourage it and you just want to sort of kind of like harness it.
Yeah, we did. Definitely, there's times that you sort of think that put the ball down. We're going somewhere, or he'd want to take it with him. Or if he'd, I think throughout this whole time that me and him had little games inside our house, we've broken one mirror, and I think, you sort of look at it and you say, there's not a, and if this we're talking now when you're sort of 8, 9, 10, 11, even earlier, like he would just constantly have the ball at his feet, and I can't stress that the importance. Even at soccer training, just getting on the ball, just getting touches. It's all about just making sure that that you're doing something and doing it effectively.
Well, that was going to be my next question, but I think you've answered that. What would be your word of advice for any of the budding youngsters at Dinamo or anyone else listening to this show, what to do? But yeah, it's the amount of touches and getting so many touches. And I guess it's not just training, isn't it? It's outside of training as well.
You can do all the training in the world, and if you think an hour and a half is enough, it's not. It's as simple as that. And I understand these days just don't buy dear vases and dear mirrors, just buy cheap whilst they're going through that phase. So it doesn't cost too much later on.
The op shops are going to be doing a roaring trade, I think, over the next few days as a lot of parents go out and decide to get some cheaper stuff. But mate, on today is a feast day of St. Anthony that Croatians celebrate, being very staunchly Roman Catholic. On today's day, mate, we'd like to wish you a happy name day, wishing you all the best, and to Anthony all the best, and to the entire Didulica family. Thank you for being a part of the Dinamo family, and we look forward to seeing you guys around the club rooms for many, many years.
Yes, that's definitely. Thank you very much for having me, Coach.
Good on you. Ante Didulica, he's the father of young Anthony Didulica, the newest Australian national team representative who's been named in the under-17s. We're going to take a very short break. When we return, we're going to be speaking to Captain Courageous himself, the captain of the senior men's team, Michael GRGIC, who's been on the show before, but he's going to be talking about arguably one of the most important games in the club's recent history, this weekend's 6-pointer against Moreland City at CB Smith Reserve. Folks, don't go away. We'll be back shortly after this. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and it's an absolute pleasure to have the captain of the senior men's team, Michael GRGIC, joining us on the show tonight. Michael, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Mate, you look like you just come back from Mount Buller or something like that. It's been pretty cold outside, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a fresh one in Melbourne this week.
Yeah, I tell you what. But, mate, as far as the weather, it's getting really cold. But as far as the NPL Victoria action, it's really hotting up. And we've got a big game coming up on Saturday. But we'll talk about that a bit later on. But, mate, it's been a busy few days for the senior men's team. Firstly, the Croatian derby last Sunday, and then last night's Cup, Australia Cup. Mate, I don't know. I'm talking to a few people at the club today. A lot of people said, look, you know, we did very well against South Melbourne and could have gone either way, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise because now we can focus on the league and getting some points, much needed points for the league. Is that how the boys in the dressing room are seeing it, or are they, you know, really disappointed we couldn't get through to the national stage of the Australia Cup?
No, of course we're disappointed. We wanted to make it through in the Cup, you know, to represent the club on a national stage would have been amazing, but wasn't to be, and we gave it our all and we fell short, but it doesn't matter. We go on to next week, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on the weekend just gone by, huge game it was too, the Croatian derby. Always is a massive one. And there we've got some highlights of the game happening there. You know, how did you feel going into this game? How did the boys feel going into? Were they starting to feel the pressure, or they were just really looking forward to playing in front of a big crowd at home, in front of a lot of familiar faces, family and friends, etc.?
No, we were looking forward to, you know, good opportunity at home. We knew there would be a strong crowd, you know, being a Croatian derby. Yeah, so we were looking forward to it, not really nervous at all, just, yeah, excited to play in it. Result didn't go our way, but that's football, you know, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, so...
Yeah, and late in the game, you converted from the penalty spot, so it was 2-1 with not that much to go. But was there hope at that point that, you know, we could get up, we can do something, we can, if nothing else, salvage a draw here?
Yeah, of course, yeah. We always have hope, you know, especially at home with a strong, you know, crowds, all the boys on the hill. We always think we can nick something late, but yeah, it wasn't to be.
What about the surface itself? For a while, we weren't playing. We weren't allowed to play on Churchill Reserve because the council was doing some repair work to it, I guess. But it looks absolutely fantastic. What's the surface like now?
Oh yeah, it's very good. Yeah, the council have done well. Yeah, ground's in the best shape it's been all year. So just hopefully not too much more rain. Otherwise, yeah, get a bit chopped up.
Yeah, and we've got quite a few home games coming as well. Do you generally feel that home ground advantage at home? I know we've lost a few games and haven't been doing so well there, but do you sort of feel a lot more at ease? Do you feel a lot more confident playing at home compared to when we do travel away?
Yeah, you generally do feel a lot more comfortable. You know, you train there 3 times a week, so you're used to the environment. You know, there's a lot of people that you know on the sideline, so yeah, you do feel a bit more comfort playing at home.
Yeah. Now, we've got a massive game coming up this weekend, obviously. It's going to be a huge game. Moreland City, we've played them once before. We've beaten them. Now it's at CB Smith Reserve. Now, look, CB Smith Reserve is a pleasant place to go there, watch the game. Everything's nice facilities and all that. But how do you find playing at CB Smith Reserve?
No, it's good. No, it's good ground. I think it gets a bit chopped up, you know. There's a fair few teams that play on it during the year, so if it gets a bit wet, it might be all right, you know. It might be a bit better to play on, but no, it's a good surface. It's a good environment. Yeah, it should be good to play there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the weather forecast is like for the next couple of days. I think it's supposed to stay dry. I know it's talking about some really cold days coming up, but it looks like it's going to stay dry. So hopefully it won't get chopped up. But you're right. So many teams do use that facility that it can get sometimes quite heavy and quite chopped up. But how's Cameron got you guys sort of prepared for this week? I mean, obviously all the focus was on last night and the focus was on the Croatian derby, but you train tonight, and is that it, or are you training tomorrow night as well, just nice and lightly?
No, we had a light session tonight, but Cam doesn't change. He stays the same. Every game we approach the same way, and yeah, it's the same style, and we try to implement that throughout every game. So yeah.
Yeah. Now we had Cameron on the show last week, and he did say, look, you know, and we did say actually the feedback was that a lot of punters out there think that the boys are playing a lot better, the better style. And even last night, I think most people would have agreed we were a bit unlucky, and certainly to hold South Melbourne to a 1-0 result. But just the results don't seem to be coming. Are the boys pretty confident that once it turns, it's going to turn and we'll be, home and hose type of thing? Or is there still a little bit of a worry, a bit of concern that we're doing everything right on the training track when it comes to the game day, but just the results aren't happening our way?
Yeah, sometimes it happens, like when you're losing, sometimes it can become a bit of a habit, but it's a good opportunity this week to snap out of it and then to start something, hopefully start a run of, some wins or good results, away from home. And then we've got a strong run of games at home. So, take maximum points out of those games. And that's the approach of the rest of the season, really.
Yeah, and look, I guess when you have a look at it, I mean, yes, we're on 7 points at the moment, 2 wins and a loss, and 14 losses, 2 wins and a draw and 14 losses. But look, a couple of wins there, we could quite easily jump over Manningham United into third last spot. And then look, Dandenong Thunder's they're 8 points away at the moment. So, we get onto a run of, 3, 4, maybe really, really good games, we can really jump up, and I guess the priority at the moment is to avoid relegation, isn't it? That's the number one priority at the moment.
Yeah, of course. It's just taking it 1 week at a time as well. We just approach this game, try to get a win, and we take it as it comes and see, what happens.
Yeah, and what about yourself, mate? Your own form this year. Have you been happy with it? Have you been disappointed? Have you kind of know you can do a bit better? How would you assess your own performance now that we're almost 3/4 of the way through the season?
Yes, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Just trying to stay as consistent as I can, and especially supporting the younger boys through the team. Being a bit of an older head in the team, supporting those younger guys and just encouraging them to get the best football out of themselves as well. So, yeah.
So 3 really important games coming up this week against Moreland City, then Hume City at home, and then it's Manningham United away to conclude the month of June. So a very, very important next 3 matches for yourselves, for the club. Mate, we wish you all the best, and thank you for coming on the show. And let's get that 6-pointer on Saturday against Moreland City.
No worries. Thanks, Toensure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good on you. Michael GRGIC, always a pleasure to have him on the show. It is, always, like I said, always a pleasure to have him on the show. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, we will wrap things up here on DinamoTV for yet another season.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
We're going to wrap up DinamoTV for another week, not another season. We still haven't got through this current season. Thank you, folks, for being a part of tonight's show. And on behalf of everyone here at the club, to all Anthony's, Aunties, Tony's, Taunchies as well, a happy name day to you all. Happy Svetiante, happy St. Anthony's name day to you all. On that note, we're going to have a massive, massive weekend of football coming your way. And next week, once again, join us on Thursday night for another episode of DinamoTV. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Bye-bye.